one show, one no. Can flip the story of your cash flow. Money matters with joy. Let's make every dollar make sense. From the hustle to the pen, turn your profit to your best friend. Joy, I can load you on the mic right now. Come see where your business is losing money, from the desk to the till to the late night spend. He's the one you call when the figures is not clear. Making money, buying shares, every cash issue while you're working hard but you are still broke. He's the calm, clear voice when the bills look loud, helping small bars dreams stand tall and proud. Money matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense. From the hustle to the plan, turn your profit to your best friend. Money matters with joy. From the books to the big investments. On JDN Radio, we're building wealth. That's the message. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got a side gig, he can make his skill turn a weekend grind to a winning revenue. From the market moves to the deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time. It matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense. From the hustle to the plan, turn your profit to your best friend. Money matters with joy.
A wonderful afternoon to you out there, and I have a question for you listening to me right now this afternoon, and that question is very simple. How much debt does your business have as an outside money right now? How much money are people owing your business right now? Not what you hold to your suppliers, but what your customers, your clients, your people who have received a product or service from you right now that they are owing you. For some businesses, their own might be as low as 50,000. For some, their own can be as high as 500,000, a million, or thereabout. But one of the things that we've seen with so many businesses is that I don't just want to ask. Maybe they are going to pay, or somehow they are going to pay. But the phrase, they will pay eventually, sometimes can become a very expensive statement. So how do you handle this? If people are owing you, how do you get your money back as a business owner? That's the focus of our discussion this afternoon. My name is Joy Akinlolu, and I'm welcoming you to another edition of Money Matters on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And today is a big Monday. Like we did last week, we'll also have an opportunity to dissect your business. You can have an opportunity to call in, and if my guest can make it into the studio, fine. If not, we'll also see how we can help you solve your business related issues right here on JDN Radio 101.5.
On JDN Radio, we're building wealth. That's the message. Oh, yeah.
All right, let me start with the stock market, what is happening with the stock market. But before I go into what is happening with the stock market, and if you're hearing the stock market for the first time and you want to know how exactly does this work, so this afternoon what I'm going to do, Aramide, thank you very much. What I'm going to do this afternoon is to break down what these things actually means. All right, so why is it that companies, why is it that they sell shares? Or how is it that they come around to selling shares? So I'm breaking it down for you in case if this is your first time hearing this and you don't know how it works. So now, every company, any company that is maybe publicly traded, that is a PLC or big companies, now, the easiest way for them to raise capital or raise money is for them to possibly use what they call a particular market. So what happens is if you have a company, let's say Joy company or your company, for example, and you are big enough and you need more money to expand or to buy machineries or to buy things and all this, then you can take it to a particular market where people do buying and selling. Now, before you take it to that market, what they normally do is that they will cut that business into smaller units, meaning that they will divide that business into smaller units. Sometimes it can be 1,000,000 units, 1,000,000,000 units, or whatever unit that they have. So once they have divided the company into smaller units, they are now going to take it to that market. That market is called the stock market. So what happened in the stock market is people can buy a unit of that company and people can also sell a unit of that company. So that is what happens at the floor of the stock market. So a company have shares, they bring it down. Now, immediately you, as a person, immediately you buy a unit of the company, you automatically becomes a shareholder. So if you want to become a shareholder, it means that you must buy a unit of an existing company. So if you buy a unit of an existing company, you become a shareholder. And once you become a shareholder, then it means for every sales that the company make, for every profit that they make, you will also have an opportunity to, you have an opportunity to gain from it. So when a company makes money, now this is what they do. Aniki, Mami Dada, when company makes money, this is what they do. If the company has 1,000,000 units, for example, or 1,000,000,000 units, thank you so much, ma. 1,000,000,000 units, for example, they will now look at the amount that they have made. The amount that they have made, they will now divide it by the number of units that they have. So it will not make them to be able to conclude. That is why anytime you hear that a particular company is sharing 1 naira, 2 naira, 3 naira, 50 kobo, what is happening is they have divided what they've made in terms of profit by the number of units of shares that they have. So you, as a shareholder, will now have the privilege, all right, of making money with them. So, like, for example, the month of May, a lot of people have collected dividend for the month of May. So many of them have collected dividend for the month of May. So if this also includes you, you can as well make money using this process. That is the step one of making money with the stock market. You gain when the company makes money and they pay you dividends, so that becomes your own return on the money you have with them. The second way you can also make money from the stock market is what we call capital gain. Capital gain happens this way. Maybe you bought MTN shares when they came out at 65 naira. At 65 naira. Now, currently, MTN is approaching 1,000 naira per share. 1,000 naira per share. So it means that you have gained about 94 naira. About 964 naira. That's what you have gained. So let's just assume that you have gained 900 naira. So that 900 naira that you have gained becomes capital gain. But that capital gain is not useful until when you decide to sell it. So if you have bought MTN when it was selling for 65 naira and you decided to sell that MTN, right? So what you are making as a time of profit becomes what you call capital gain. Oh, yeah. Another way that you can also make money apart from capital gain is called bonuses. Bonuses normally happens when companies decide to give extra unit of the shares that they have to existing shareholders. So, but they are not going to give you for free. So it's also a way of them raising more money, but they can ask you to buy it at a smaller amount, okay? Or sometimes some companies can do outright gifting. If they do outright gifting, it becomes bonus. If they ask you to pay, sorry about that confusion, if they give you outrightly, it's a bonus, meaning that, Muftau Jubril, thank you for the follow. It means that the company have decided that, oh, let me give these people extra unit of bonus. Now, this normally happens when they are not paying dividends or when their dividend is lower. So this is where this one normally happens. So if the dividend is lower, they can give you extra bonus, which is extra unit of shares. Now, apart from this one, they have what they call right issues. So if you hear right issues on the stock market, the people that can only enjoy right issues are existing shareholders. So if you are not an existing shareholder, you don't have an existing share with a company, you cannot enjoy what they refer to as right issues. So because right issues are given to, that means they give privilege. They are giving more opportunities those who are existing customers or clients or shareholders to buy more of the shares that they already have.
Revenue from the market moves to the deals that matters. He'll break it all down one step at a time. It matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense. From the hustle to the plan, turn your profit.
All right, so I'm just giving you a breakdown. Maybe if you are not used to this, you don't know you don't have the full gist, or you want to know the rudiment. That's what I've just given you this afternoon.
Got a side gig, he can make his scale turn a weekend grind to a winning revenue. From the market moves to the deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time. It matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense.
All right, so how did the stock market behave, or how did they do? The Nigerian exchange closed last week on a positive note. It's about 55.69%, and they made, that was the trading that happened on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange was about 156 trillion naira. And what that means to you is that as you go into May, remember, I've said it before, that by September 2027, the Nigerian stock market is going to be opened more to those who have dollar to bring into the market. And when they bring this into the market, some stocks are going to go up. And definitely, they are going to be investing in what they refer to as blue chip companies. Companies like MTN, like Zenith, companies like Dangote Sugar. Now, the Dangote refinery is also coming, I think around June, July. Dangote refinery will be coming in to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So if you want to be a part of that, you will hear the announcement. Possibly it's going to be a public offer, and it's going to be open for those who want to get involved with it. So you have between now and September for you to position yourself, because when this influx come into the market, definitely some prices are going to go up. And when those prices go up, it means more money for those who are holding on to those shares.
Let's make every naira make sense. From the hustle to the plan.
But what a word of caution here. Investing in the stock market is not a miracle worker. So meaning that you are not expecting to become rich overnight. All right. So, and we are not expecting an automatic something that's going to happen to you. You are doing a long-term investment. All right. So some people did it back then, like when the Arisha callers started investing in the stock market. You were probably very young back then. Okay. So, but now their stocks have become something. So whatever it is that you're putting in now, you will come to enjoy it as you grow older in years, because it means that your money is making more money for you.
That's the message. Oh, yeah.
There is a particular company that pays in dollars, for those of you that like dollar payment, and that is Seplat Energy. Seplat Energy pays their dividends in dollars, and apart from Seplat Energy, Airtel also pay their dividends in dollars. So if dollars is what is dollar for, is what is entering your eyes, you know, don't worry. So Zenith Bank proposed 8 naira 75 kobo per unit of shares. So imagine if you just have 1 million units of Zenith, that's about 8.75 that you're going to get millionaire. But you know, there was a time when Zenith Bank too was selling for 10 naira, you know.
Your best friend.
Oh my goodness.
From the books to the big investments on JD and radio. We're building.
So if you are thinking where should you start from, like I used to tell people, if you are thinking where should I start from the company that you use, right? Buy companies that you use, buy network companies that you are recharging credit on them. You know, just try and start with something.
We'll break it all down one step at a time. Money matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense. From the hustle to the plan. Turn your profit to your best friend. Money matters with joy. From the books to the big investment.
As I speak right now, if you want to buy Seplat Energy is around 12,000, if I'm not mistaken. You have some stocks that are going for 5,000, 6,000 per unit of shares.
Got a side gig, he can make his skill turn a weekend grind to a winning.
Zenith Bank is around 125, 145 naira now.
Let's make every naira make sense.
MTN, like I said, MTN is approaching 1,000. That's about 915. 920 is about 1,000 naira, and they are not stopping.
That's the message.
So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Why are you not yet investing? Well, let me leave that. When I come back, we'll talk about how you can recover debt in your business. What are the steps that you can take for debt recovery? And this is Money Matters on JDM Radio 101.5 FM. Let me take this commercial. I'll be back.
You are listening to JDN 101.5 FM. Broadcasting for all.
Kí o tó ra epo pupa níbikíbi, tẹ́tí gbọ́ àlàyé tí yóò ṣe ọ́ láǹfààní yìí. Ǹjẹ́ ò ń dáàbò bo mọ̀lẹ́bí rẹ lọ́wọ́ ewu bí? Àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí rẹ lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ sí epo tí ò lámúlùmọ́là. Ìdí nìyí tí a ṣe gbé epo red palm oil wá. Epo tí ìpèsè rẹ̀ tó péye tí ò lámúlùmọ́là kankan ná pété. Nígbàkúùgbà tẹ́ ẹ bá ti dí ọjà láti ra epo ṣebẹ̀. Eléyìí tí wọ́n kó epo sí lára gangan ni kẹ́ ẹ béèrè fún. Epo tó dára ti di rọrùn. À ń fọwọ́ ìdánilójú sọ̀yà fún yín wípé kì í rùn bànàbànà. Kì í ránu. Kò sí rọ́ńbẹ̀. Tààràtà láti inú oko tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa sínú abọ́ ìdáná tiyín ni. Tó sì kún fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èròjà fún ìlera tó péye láàrin ìgbà péréte tí ẹ bá ti ra epo tí a kó epo sí lára tó ń jáde látàgbàlá iléeṣẹ́ AISHAT yálà olóṣùwọ̀n 1 litre 2 litre tàbí 3 litre a ó tún fún yín ní èròjà ìgbóúnjẹ fúnni lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ kílẹ̀ tó ń dúró wò àǹfààní ńláńlá lélẹ́yìí tó wá pẹ̀lú èròjà ọ̀fẹ́ láàrin ìgbà péréte ẹ̀yin náà kàn sí gbọ̀ngàn ìtajà tó súnmọ́ agbègbè yín jùlọ lẹ́ni dáàbòbò ètò ìlera àti adùn ìdílé rẹ béèrè fún epo kó o sì rí pé o gbẹ̀bùn ọ̀fẹ́ nísìn fẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé máa pe 0812 264 6008 epo nìrọ̀jú ọbẹ̀ epo tó dára ní kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ kẹ́ rà.
One Hotel Cabo, luxury on another level, fine destination, everything top level.
Discover the ultimate in comfort and class at One Hotel Cabo, Ibadan's finest luxury destination, located on Labanji Ayola Street, New Bodija, Ibadan. Whether it's a premium room or fully serviced apartment, Bon Hotel Cabo, New Bodija is your true home away from home. Enjoy our world-class amenities. Dual swimming pool with kids safety jackets, a conference hall, meeting room, a private bar, and a lively karaoke to vibe and unwind. Bon Hotel Cabo, New Bodija is more than a stay. It is an experience designed for your comfort and relaxation. Don't just visit Ibadan. Book your stay now. Call 091-5500-4800. That is 091-5500-4800. Bon Hotel Cabo, New Bodija. Your world-class experience awaits.
ẹ fẹ́ kọ́lé ẹ fẹ́ ralẹ̀ standard plot size pẹ̀lú ìfọkànbalẹ̀ My City ló ṣe bá dòwò pọ̀ My City is the answer. ẹ fẹ́ ra shop ẹ fẹ́ gba shop ó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ My City ó yẹ ẹ bá wà dòwò pọ̀ Ìdúmọ̀tà gate opposite Wema Ara complex Ìwàní. Báàkì opposite Wema bank My City complex Àkóbọ̀ general market My City complex Agric meat Woma complex Bódìjà Tiwani Woma. Ẹni di glory ó fọwọ́ wọn sọ̀yà. Óyá My City. Ayégun ọ̀lẹ́ your face one face two. My City is the standard plus size My City is the Ayégun olómi My City. My City. Hey, Lani Bamania My City. My City is the answer.
JDN Radio 101.5 FM, broadcasting for all.
From the books to the big investments.
All right, so welcome back. Thank you, Adekunle Ojo Christiana on Facebook, and Jola Osho Ario Henry, fine boy Ario. Thank you for the follow. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so let us talk about how companies can recover debt. Now, what is the process? Well, you have the opportunity of resulting into boxing. If you do that, well, you lose your dignity, you lose that business, you lose the client, you lose the relationship. Another way that you can also, make your money is to disgrace that individual, but you still lose at the end of the day. In fact, if you disgrace someone because he's owing you, he has a right to take you to court, and you might lose the opportunity of getting your money back.
Let's make every naira make sense.
So let us go through a third way of doing it that is more efficient. So we're going to use about 3 steps. So step 1 is to do what we call clarity conversation. Now, why is this important? Because many debt in Nigerian small businesses is not disputed. The person who's owing you know that is owing you, and you yourself know that this person is owing me. So sometimes clarity is also very important. Don't forget, before I forget, don't forget that you have the privilege of actually talking to us about your business issue, and let us diagnose your business problem together on this show and provide a way out for it. So if you're watching me on TikTok, you can drop questions. If you're watching me on Facebook, you can also drop questions as it relates to your business problem. So your job in step 1 is to send a message. So I'm going to read out the message that you may likely send to that individual that for your debt recovery. So it can be like this. Good day. I hope you're well. I wanted to touch base with the balance of X naira amount that you're supposed to pay me, that I'm expecting from you, all right, for this product of a particular day. I understand things can be tight. I just want to make sure we have a clear picture of when to expect it and what works best for you. Now, what happens is this kind of discussion opens up the conversation between you and the person that is owing you. Okay? It opens up for the conversation. The step 2, this one is not that common. Let's assume that somebody is owing you 100,000 naira and is finding it difficult to pay the 100,000 naira. Why can't you offer the person to pay it on installment? All right? Sometimes a person owing you can be ashamed of even approaching you to say, sorry, sir, can I be paying these things small because I don't have this 100,000 naira in bulk. What if I can pay you in a gradual process? So if it is coming from you as a business, giving them the opportunity to start paying gradually, you are not losing the money as a whole outside. At least a little part of that money is coming back to you.
We're building wealth. That's the message. Oh, yeah.
Another way that you can also use to bring back lost money, it can be a system that we used for a school owner. You know, in school, for anybody in school business, they have parent owing first term and using paying some parents will pay first term money in second term. Some parents will pay first term money in third term or things like that. So it's in the scenarios where people are owing schools, all right, and this is a system that we give to them that help them recover some of those debt. And funny enough, many of those debts, even when you don't take any step, they will become bad debt. They will just go off, and off it goes. So if you are interested in knowing how this school was able to recover some of this debt, this is exactly what we offer them.
The deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time. It matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense.
So what they did as a school owner is to offer discount for every parent. And this is what they did. They said any parent who can pay during the holiday and the first 2 weeks of resumption, they are going to give them 10% discount. That's the first time. They get 10% discount if they pay between the holiday and the first 2 weeks of resumption. They get 10% discount. Now, if you do it effectively and you did not default, second time you also get another 10% discount. Now, by third term, that means you have done it very well. You did it religiously first time, second time. By third time, instead of you getting 10%, what you get is 15% discount on the money that you're supposed to pay. Abdul Wahab, thank you for watching. Now, in your mind, you'll be like, are they not losing money? Yes, that is what it feels like, but they are not losing money. So instead of the money to be outside, they are bringing the money back inside. Now, there's a clause. If you are a parent and you want to be a part of this, all right, you just need to offset a particular part of your existing debt and pay this current one in full, then we're going to give you this particular discount. Now, the school also went ahead to say you can pay for your children and collect the money in full from the father, because that's what is obtainable. Now, what most of the parents in that school, most of the female parents in that school, what they did is, even when the husband have not yet provided the money, right, for the payment, so what they did is to pay right before their father pays, so that by the time the father pays, the money comes to her. So in this case, instead of the school to have bad debt outside, at least it was able to recover some of the debt without resulting into fights, without having to abuse anyone, without having to, do all those things, and it still worked for them.
It matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense. From the hustle to the bed.
While we're discussing this, I'm going to open up the phone lines. If you have any questions, any issues, any problem that had to do with your business, you can call in. Tell us what you do. Tell us how long you've been doing it. Tell us what that business problem is, and let us see how we can help you solve that problem. The lines to call is 070 48 00 10 15, 070 48 00 10 15, or 080 22 10 21 63. From the books to the big investments on JD and radio. We don't just want to share information with you without actually helping you out. So if you want us to help you out, you can call those numbers and we'll be able to. And if you choose, you can decide to hide your name. All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Do you want to mention your name or do you want to keep it?
I want to keep it.
Okay.
I want to ask a question concerning the business.
Okay.
Because let me use my own business as an example.
Okay, good.
I don't know the problem we need to solve concerning this. That if we are not in maybe we are not around, the business don't move.
Okay.
Except if you are around, things will work out well. Like the workers will be perfectly well. But once we are not there, I think some of my colleagues also have the same problem. Once we are not there, the business will not move at all.
If you are not around.
I see somebody like an example, maybe I think Ricky James, that she's outside the country now, and the team that was working for her delivered diligently. Sir, what is the secret?
Now, the issue is system. I don't know whether your business have a system before now, and system is not complicated, meaning that even as simple as cleaning, do they know how to do it? And when you were there, do they normally report to you that, oh, madam, this is what I've done today, and you can make an assessment of what they have done even when you are around? Do you have something like that?
No.
Okay, so that's the first thing. So, a child, workers are just like children in your house. A child that you have not asked him to wash plates before, that you does all the washing, you just call them, come and carry your food. When you are not around, they will not know how to wash the plate or even how to cook or put water on the fire. Because when you are around, you have not trained them to behave like that. So what happens is when that link is missing, then there will be a problem when you are not around, because they are more confused. So if you have a system on ground, and that system involves them doing some certain things and giving you a feedback on what they have done, and you can assess them. So it now means that once in a while, you can choose to be away for 1 hour and ask them to do some things. Then see what they are going to do when you are not around for that 1 hour.
Okay, sir.
So sometimes, okay, go on.
Another question I want to ask.
Okay.
Concerning this skill of a thing.
Okay.
For instance, I employed someone now.
Okay.
The first 2-3 months that he arrived, it doesn't work to my standards. Once I train the person to be on my taste, like give the person the skill practically to be. Maybe a few months later, they will just resign.
Okay.
After train them to their own pace.
Okay. Okay.
So what can we say about that?
Now, that should not be a problem. There will always be instances where people you have trained will leave after a while because they have gotten another pay or somewhere better where they are being they offer them something better. But that should not stop you from training people to fit into what you have. So now there's something that I will suggest. Anybody that you employ, before they become full staff, let them be on a probational period where you are training them on how your business works. So anybody on probation does not see him or herself as being already part of the system. He sees himself as not being part of the system yet. And you can now paint a good future of what being part of the system will involve. Now, some companies does something. They will make the staff. You can choose. I'm just giving you an example. Some companies, what they do is that when they train you, or before they train you, give you the training, you would have signed an agreement that you're going to be with them for a particular X amount of time in order for you to implement the training that you have already received. Okay, so some companies do that, but if you're going to do that, you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're signing is legally binding, all right? It's not just a word of mouth. So that's another way of doing it if you choose to, okay? If you choose to. But one simple truth is that people will leave, whether we like it or not. People will leave.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll work on that system of the thing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
From the market moves to the deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time. He matters with joy.
All right, we just did a diagnose of that live on air. The number is to 080 22 10 21 63. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
I want to offer an advice.
Okay. Do you want to mention your name or you want to keep your name?
Yeah, Son is my name.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes. I want to get to advice.
Okay.
If one has an industrial machine,
okay,
is using electricity to be used, but one haven't got that money to buy a generator or something like that.
Okay.
What can someone do?
Okay.
Make it work.
You already have the industrial machine.
Yes, industrial popcorn machine.
Okay, but light is an issue.
Light, yes.
Okay. Do you have someone that have light that in their area they always have light but do not have your own industrial machine?
Yes.
Do you have maybe a friend or a tailor? I'm guessing it's a tailoring something.
No, because the horsepower to be used is almost 10 horsepower.
No, what I mean is, what does the machine do? What does the machine do?
It's for popcorn machine to make popcorn.
Okay, it's used for making popcorn. Okay.
Yes.
So.
And industrial one. Over 10 years because there is no light.
Now, what I would suggest is, if you see a maybe an eatery that have regular source of power or light, you can come into a joint venture agreement with them. They will allow you to run. Okay, you can keep listening. They can allow you to run that business in conjunction with them, and you share profit from every sales that happen in the business. That's an easier way to do that. You can run a joint venture with any location where you have it. Like, for example, somebody called last week, and this guy runs shawarma business in conjunction with somebody who runs a bar. So you can run a joint venture where you share the profit based on what you use, so that the money you've invested in that industrial will not go to waste.
That's the message. Oh, yeah.
Laiwala Adetono, I see you there on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
The number is still 070-48-00-1015 or 080-22-10-21-63. What we're doing right now is you tell us your business problem. We'll look at it and give you suggestions on how you can solve it. This is the only radio show where something like that happens. So we're not just reading a book and telling you head knowledge and okay, do this, do that. Sorry about Mr. Eson that called and it went off. If you can still call back, let's see whether that suggestion can actually work for you or not. You see, in the world of business, there's this joint venture arrangement that most of us have not yet start tapping into yet.
From the books to the big investments on JD.
There are some people who are in business that they have space, but they are not utilizing it well. They don't have what to use it for. So instead of you trying to go and rent a shop, why can't you start with their space and pay them on the profit that you are making? Or you even sometimes you can share the rental of that place with them. Collaboration is a new thing instead of competition. You know, gone are those days when we pray for our competition to die. When some people will go die by fire, let the person die so that I will be the only one in the business.
That's the message.
Things have changed. It has moved away from that. So what is your business problem that you're looking at, that you want a suggestion on, or a problem that you are having with your business that you want a solution to? You can drop your comment on TikTok if you're watching me on TikTok. If you're watching me on Facebook, you can write out your question there, and we'll see how we can brainstorm together to help you solve it. Or if you want to call the studio line, the lines to call is 070 48 00 1015, 070 48 00 1015, or 080 22 10 21 63.
Grind to a winning revenue. From the market moves to the deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time.
You know, there's something that many people used to tell anyone that wants to go into business. You know, people paint going into business as the best way. And most people don't know that business owners are the most people who are depressed the most in the world. They're passing through depression. They're passing through problem. And you know, sometimes even when business owner are always afraid of the last week of the month because they will have to cough out money. So whether there is sales or not, whether things are moving or not, they will have to pay. In fact, for some employees, most employees look at their employer as if the employer have a direct relationship with CBN, or maybe the employer have one tree at the back of the house where it will just plug the money and pay them. Nobody will be in the room with that business owner. Many business owners just lie, you just sleep at night. Everybody is asleep. Your brain is not sleeping. You just open your eyes, wow, and you are thinking. And they will see you the following morning. They will shake you and like, I want you warm. Close your eyes. Okay, not a problem. So if you're a business owner listening to me this afternoon, I say kudos to you. You know, you are on a journey that many people would dare not tread. And that's why when some people come into the business world, they start and run away. And they be like, Oshole Ajele is following me here.
Got a side gig, he can make it scale, turn a weekend grind to a winning revenue. From the market moves to the deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time. He matters with joy.
If you know a business owner close to you, Oga, greet that person very well and say, well done. You know, for you to open up a business, they're supposed to give you a special award and say, well done.
We're building wealth. That's the message. Oh, yeah.
Because what you have just done is just like you being in an aeroplane. Ó ti wà lójú òfurufú, wọ́n wá fún ẹ ní abẹ́rẹ́, wọ́n fún ẹ lówùú, wọ́n fún ẹ láṣọ, wọ́n wá ní nǹkan tó kó fún ẹ yẹn o ní parachute. That's your parachute. But the parachute, you have to sew it together. So they now push you from maybe 30,000 feet above sea level. You will now be grappling as to how to sew it together before you land. That is the experience of every business owner.
That's the message. Oh, yeah.
If you want to know whether what I'm saying is true, you go and try it. Go and try it, and start up a business. You get, start up a business and see how it goes.
To a winning revenue. From the market moves to the deals that matters, he'll break it all down one step at a time. He matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense.
I have one analogy that says that even if you are the best at what you do, does not make you the best person to start up a particular business. So
that's the message. Oh, yeah.
There's a reason why most people will say that they have a business owner, or they are working with a particular business person, and that particular business person does not care. Alaye into wa lórí ẹ̀ gan ò jẹ́ ó care.
From the hustle to the plan, turn your profit to your best friend. Money matters with joy.
About 2 weeks ago or thereabouts, I had a sit down with a business owner that pays the total expenses that it does on a monthly basis is 8.5 million naira. Imagine 8.5 million naira. That is what he does on a monthly basis. That is his total expenses, and every month what comes in was less than 2 million, or sometimes about 3 million naira. That's a total of what comes in, meaning that he will have to source for the remaining balance. Imagine a business making 4 million, and the owner will have to go and get another 4.5 million naira to pay for the expenses and also for the salary of the staff.
He can make his skill turn a weekend grind to a winning revenue.
And that's why I said that if you see any business owner, anybody who is doing business, who is running a business in this Tinubu regime,
turn your profit to your best friend. Money matters with joy. From the books to the
if you're a business owner, like I said last week, Oga fowó kówó nǹkan tó ń tà o.
That's the message. Oh, yeah.
Go and increase your price. Okay, to some people I'm sounding somehow. So you can love fowó kówó. Oh, my, don't ta diesel.
He'll break it all down one step at a time. He matters with joy. Let's make every naira make sense.
1 liter of diesel is about 2,000. For some people, they sell it 2,000 naira per liter. For some, it is 1,900 and something per liter. And the person is still running his business, still charging the same price they used to charge.
Oh, yeah.
Many business owners today are running what I call fejeron. They are using their blood to run it.
He can make his skill turn a weekend grind to a winning.
But remember, that customer that you are trying to do well, when the customer have money, he will not remember you.
Every naira makes sense. From the hustle to the plan, turn your profit to your best friend.
That is why no matter when we are broke, when people don't have money, they will see somebody hawking rice, or they will see a rice seller under the tree and buy from that person. What when you have money, that's when he will look at that place and say, that place is too, it's too cheap for me. Or look look local. Me like local place. Me okay jẹun níta, me okay jẹun láwọn bẹ̀. There is one popular eatery, maybe they heard us saying it. They just added 300 naira to their meal recently. They used to sell it maybe 2,322, but now they are selling it 2,500. Some of them used to sell 323 something. Down they are selling 3,500. Ola Unique, I see you there. So whatever it is that you're selling, learn to add money to it to love for
From the market moves to the deals that matters.
Because if you look at the current situation of things in Nigeria, if you are still selling the same price that you used to